In this problem, I need to find the lengths of the missing sides and angles for the triangle in which I'm given side A, side B, and side C. So let's quickly sketch a triangle. I'm going to have this is A, this is B, and this is C. Now remember, when you label the sides, the side opposite angle B is side B. The side opposite angle A is side A, and the side opposite angle C is side C. And so we're given A is 20, B is 30, and C equals 11. We're not told that this is a right triangle, so I can't use the Pythagorean theorem, and I can't use trig functions using opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So we're going to have to use the law of sines, the law of cosines, and the sum of the angles equals 180. Now, can we use the law of sines when we know no angles? Remember, the law of sines is A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. We were given each side. We were not given any angles, so I can't use the law of sines since I don't know a matching pair. So I'm going to have to use the law of cosines to find the first angle and then the law of sines to find subsequent angles. And since I'm going to have to use the law of sines later on, I want to avoid the ambiguous case with the law of sines, so I'm going to find the largest angle first using the law of cosines, because the law of cosines has no ambiguity in it at all. The largest angle is going to be opposite the longest side, so looking at my sides, who's the longest? Side B, so I'm going to find angle B using the law of cosines. So since I'm trying to find an angle using the law of cosines and I want to find angle B, it has to be the version of the law of cosines that starts with B squared. So it's B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. So the only thing I don't know in this equation is my angle B. So plugging in, I get 30 squared equals A squared is 20 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 20 times 11 times the cosine of B. So I have 900 equals 400 plus 121 minus 2 times 20 times 11 is 440 cosine B. Now be careful at this point. What a lot of students do is they add this to this to this. We can't add negative 440 to these because it's attached to the cosine of B. So I'm going to combine my 400 and 121. So I get 900 equals 521 minus 440 cosine B. And so now I'm going to subtract 521 from both sides. And I get 379 is negative 440, the cosine of B. So now I have to divide both sides by negative 440. And that is going to give me the cosine of B equals 379 divided by negative 440 is negative 0.86136. So to find angle B, I'm going to have to use the inverse cosine function of negative 0.86136. And that gives me the angle B is equal to 149.6 0.4700 degrees. That's the accurate version for angle B. And if I round that to the nearest degree, I get B is 149 degrees. So I found the first angle. Now I need to find either angle A or angle C. So going back and looking at the law of sines that I have written up here, I now know angle B. So I know a matching pair. So I can match that with this or with this. It doesn't matter whether I find angle A or angle C next. I'm just going to find angle A. Since we're trying to find an angle, I'm going to write this flipped upside down. So I'll have my angle in the numerator. So I'm going to have sine A over A is sine B over B. And since I'm trying to find the sine of A to start with before I can find angle A, I'm going to multiply both sides by A over 1. And so that gives me that the sine of A is equal to A sine B over B. And side A was 20 times the sine of angle B. I'm going to use 149.47000 degrees over side B, which is 30. So that is going to tell me that the sine of A equals 0.338659. So A is the inverse sine of that number. So when I put that in my calculator, I got A equals 19.79 ... degrees. So rounding that to the nearest whole number, I get A equals 20 degrees. And now if I want to find the third angle, I'm going to do it by adding up all the angles and subtracting them from 180. And I've kind of run out of room here. So let me write it up here that I know that angle C is going to be 180 minus angle A, which was 19.79, minus B, which was 149.47. And so I get C is equal to 10.735 degrees, which equals 11 degrees rounded to the nearest whole number. So C is 11 degrees.